time these guys played each other with a 1.4 rating, which is huge.
All right, you know what? Let's see where this game will go map-wise. Let's toss it over to that. 7 maps, 6 out, 1 will be left. And what will be playing on? Not Oregon, which is good. Clubhouse. Oh, man. I don't know if really Tempra walked into this, unfortunately. Gio, what's your take on this from your point of view? Is Clubhouse the right map to take BDS on?
My take on this is that when these two teams played against each other in the French League back on the 2nd of July, way back when, it feels like a million years ago at this point, BDS flattened Tempra on it. And obviously, it's a national, they might not be taking it quite as seriously as they would EUL, but it was a 7-3. And we saw such statistics as Playday with a 1.45 rating. Shaiko had an 80% cost, whereas in Tempra, only Voy had a positive rating. It was disgusting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be throwing my Tempra flag around, but I'm scared for them. You know, they drew Na'Vi on this map. Na'Vi are totally not informed. That was just in stage 2. Are you all right? Yeah, you got a flag, do you?
He's got.
Please tell me. Oh, the white flag. Well, that's what they need to be. They need to be waving that. Honestly, on this map, these guys lost.
By the way, I have a French production team, and you know, I'm discount French at this point, so I'm very sorry, but you know.
Discount French.
I'm discount French. Yeah, what am I gonna say? But
you're our translator when we're in France.
Exactly.
We need you.
That is actually exactly how it goes. It saved us a lot of money on water. I can tell you that. That said. Closing thoughts on this. First of all, our socials. Let's go with those. Put them up on the screen and see what people thought about this game. You can vote on all your usual matches at R6 Esports EU on Twitter, but unfortunately, it's kind of done now. Wow, 90%. What? Is that right? Hello?
Are we watching the same game?
Wait. Production,
yeah, I think that's
that?
meant to be the other way around, the logos. Like, that would make sense. It actually, I didn't realize for like 3 seconds that Tempra was the one with 91. But yeah, it was 100% the wrong way around. Realistically, I would believe 91% BDS.
Me too. Although, this is where we suddenly find out that Tempra just... Yeah.
Yay! Thanks, production. Called out.
Right, Tempra got a win now.
No,
Cheers,
it's not happening, mate. It's not happening, mate. Tempra lost 2-7 to Vitality. They got stomped in stage 1 on Clubhouse. They got stomped by BDS in the French League. They barely drew against Na'Vi, who are totally out of form right now. The only win Tempra have is against Be Kind in the French League. And we saw from Challenger League that Be Kind's maybe not the greatest team, maybe not the sharpest tool in the shed. So, yeah, BDS... probably going to take this one.
We've had so many kind of stompy games today that we've got to the end of the day and we just don't have patience for it anymore. It's like, Basically. If you're not the winner, you're the loser. That's it.
Even Chaos got a win today, so I'm very sorry, but it's you gotta do it now. All right, let's toss it over though to our casters. Our final matchup of this evening. It's Fluke and Hap. Flap, please, all yours for this final match. BDS versus Tempra.
What's up? It's us. It's Flap. Fluke and Hap, 2 of us together. What we doing?
What did they do to us?
Why am I involved? Okay, this has happened to our cameras because Hap, like an idiot, decided to pick a fight with production. And you can pick a fight with production, but you should only pick a fight with the production that isn't in control of your cameras. That's the lesson learned here by Hap. Let's see if Tempra have learned any lessons on Club as we go into the final game of the night. As the wonderful Geometric Electric said earlier, this wasn't a great time for Tempra last time.
It wasn't. Was it, by the way, the Geometric Electric Boogaloo, or was it just a normal Geometric
Just a standard Geometric Electric. You know do you know about like emo kids and scene kids?
I've heard some stories, indeed.
Yeah. For her, never died. My Chemical Romance, she lives and dies by them. She's still in the emo phase.
Well, we'll see whether or not it is going to be BDS take the win here. But okay, so Tempra, let's just quickly talk about them. Chaos is closing in on them just a little bit. They need a win here. It's roughly said. They need a win to maintain their 6-point lead that they had when they started. I'm doubtful they'll make it, actually.
Well, okay, let's just hypothetical here for a second. You're a team and you desperately need a win. What team do you not want to go up against?
I think BDS are secret
Oh
at this moment in time.
no!
That's unfortunate.
BDS
Are they
here.
playing BDS?
Yeah, they're playing BDS, and BDS, they are in such a good streak. Now, for what we've seen from a lot of teams after the split, or just around it, they haven't quite stumbled. You look at Rogue, you look at G2, you look at stories that aren't quite fulfilling methods before. Some teams have shone, like Secret. Some teams have just kept on being as good as they were. BDS, if you somehow missed the recent major, are your top dog team right now. And they're proving it. They have been exceptional so far, and I have a feeling that today is just going to be another lesson taught to another team that is going to suffer the might of BDS. CCTV and Cash is where we start with a BDS defense. Tempra, it is yours to prove, yours to take, and you got a lot of work ahead of you.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
As a result, we will get that double hard breach coming through. The OG duo, you can almost say, with Termite and Hibana. Of course, Hibana, the not vanilla operator, but basically the second hard breacher to ever be added to the game, and the Thatcher to join. I remember a lot of Termite mains were a bit jealous, you know, when Hibana came through, because Thatcher would just run off with them.
Yeah, I mean, it always causes some tensions when you see a great partnership like that breaking up, but at the same time, well, Thatcher's generally not allowed anyway, so what's he got to be jealous about? Maybe he should just be happy that he's allowed to show up for once. Here, on a map where Double Hard Destruction isn't the most out there ban, even before Ace was in the meta, well, if anything, it's still impactful, but this club, it plays on Double Hard ban. It has played on that for such a long period
Look at
of
that
time.
shield. Look at the shield and construction there. Double ADS setup with it as well. Shows that they really want to be holding on to construction, especially with the logistics wall closed off as well. So I'm liking this setup BDS is trying to put here. Maybe extending themselves just ever so slightly whilst digging themselves in with some good defenses. So I really like that little strange setup there.
Well, they're wasting no time in getting this wall open. If you've never seen a take on this site before, it's very much a step-by-step process. Thatcher, with his current play, hasn't been done before, but, well, step 1 is get this wall open. Step 2 is die to your own charge, and step 3 is get caught up in the middle of it. What a mistake, what an error, and what a way to open a game. Okay, you tried something bold, went for something beautiful, and unfortunately, that's not getting pinned up on the fridge.
Well, it will be pinned up by our analysts, I'm for sure, by that one, because oh no, what happened there? I see them all stack up, right? And my first thought is, and you heard me say it, rush,
yeah,
you know,
I heard you say it.
They're going to be pushing in. And then Zofia just absolutely bottled it.
So, when you do a rush, I was about to say, so when you see this site, it's a step-by-step process. We'll see it again, I'm sure. I can explain that later. Let's explain rushes. You got to be quick. You don't got to be that quick.
But not too quick.
not too quick. There's a level of pace that you need to apply. There's a level of pressure and a level of surprise. That's a bit too fast.
Normally, you just wait for the explosion to go off and you run right in after. P4 might have been thinking he had like some Juggernaut armor on or something, or the withstand would be helping him there, but it was just an instant kill to come through. And I'm pretty sure that that BDS was just as confused about that one as well. But hey, quick round. We are
that was
on
a
schedule. We're
very quick
continuing. We weren't even a minute in yet, and we're already in round number 2. So
I think that's the thing about it as
let's see
well. It's been there's obviously been a lot of games, but a lot of them have been quite quick games today.
yes, they have been, and it looks like Tempra is looking to continue that.
Not in the good way.
Not in the good way.
No, that was a bold attempt. And you know what? I understand why they made it. Because they, as well as us, as well as people in the chat, as well as the reviews that we saw from the poll, is they're not expected to win this. Not just because they're not playing great at the minute, but because BDS are playing so good. BDS is such a solid team right now. So why not play these bold strategies? Why not try and make magic happen? You took a risk, and it didn't pay off, and whether it was the start of the collapse from when you blew yourself up or not, either way, if you freeze in the middle of the 10 seconds of chaos, it was a 3 versus 2 situation. It was something that, if they hadn't have accidentally blown themselves up, could have been a 3 versus 3 situation. Could have been a different story. Yes, I'm looking for positives on what is a cloud for a silver lining that was otherwise blown up in its own face and excess, but there's still a silver lining there, whether it's splattered against the floor or not. Either way, we're looking at a slightly more steady and standard approach here, even then with a little bit of pace in terms of the roam clear. 2-minute mark has just been passed, and they're happily in control of the top 2 floors.
And making sure not to run into the silver lining of the exothermic this time as it blows up. And thus, they will manage to survive that first minute mark. All 5 members of Tempra still on the board. There is some good information coming out though from BDS's side, as they have a Valkyrie camera which now will be spotted. Before aware, you know, it's that 6th sense. I'm being watched. That just went off there, you know, the spider senses were tingling. You managed to pick up that cam, get the information out of play. And now the continuation of Tempra's setup will be coming in. Here's some Excavas going off. That means hatches will be opened up and potentially drops as well.
Yeah, and they still have a lot of time to start to pull this together. Moto is under their control, and they start to try and burn on the opposite side, but the game is slightly given away on pipes with another lead mine thrown down. They go for a very bold re-rotation for a second trip round. P4 had somewhere else to be, and he had apparently forgotten about why he needed to be there. The pressure wants to come in against Blue. They needed some support and some assistance here to clear out the ADSs that are otherwise buried behind. Shaiko's been forced off, and that allows them to set up a bit of a cross angle and pinch here. Another grenade goes whiffed, and a flashes too. Almost catch the man on his own rotation, but it's the bullets sprayed deep from within dirt that actually stumble P4, who yet again has to bounce back to a slightly different safe position. This time, third time is unfortunately unlucky as he can't quite get the rotation, and Lems opens it up. And I said there was a lot of time with a minute. Now there is barely any with only 15 seconds. Everything has to try and come as fast and sharp as it can. C4 over the top of pipes doesn't quite catch anyone, but the bodies are caught inside the site itself. Still buried round the back. Renshiro can rotate round. He's had an amazing season so far, but is he fully aware this is going on right on his shoulder? There's the moment. There's the strike. There's the post plant, but there's a man who tried to escape. Not a great time for a rotation. Suddenly now a 2 versus 1, but it's caught by Renshiro. A great season and a fantastic triple kill.
Great triple kill to come out indeed. Managing to pick the... bit of BM. have to stall out for the last round, you know, get back on the average. Because we all saw the stats coming through, you know, from Dark Zero about how many seconds were left in rounds on average. BDS just trying to put that second back up, you know, just after that quick rush round. Have to take some time, you know, take a chill, get that defuse in. But again, well played here, well held. Even though when they managed to get themselves onto the site, Renshiro, after becoming the MVP of the major, continuing to shine throughout stage 2.
I love that he waited. I love that he hesitated, and I know I threw it in the play-by-play that is there a question of him fully hearing it, because audio has been a bit of a question for some players, unfortunately, this season round. He was well aware, and what he was also well aware of was the time. Almost caught it. Almost caught the diffuser planter and caught it all in one swift blow. Couldn't quite get it then, but pushed on. Pushed the strike, pushed pipes, pushed the body that tried to escape, and, well, pulled the point.
All right, 0-2 so far, and we are going to the gym and bedroom. As see the quick replay coming in when Shiro able to tap a little bit onto Chicken. Look at that HP there, so low. Allowed him to chase, get a lucky hip fire into the arm. He's going to be able to land you that kill. And after the smoke canisters were being popped, I was like, surely he can go for a defuse now, but a chase was coming in there from Keox's, running through the smoke, taking quite a bit of damage, but he knew that he had to stop a potential defuse from going down. Did not expect Renshiro to peek back with the pistol, and there's that kill coming in as well. 0-2, as I just said, and round number 3 is upon us. Again, the CCTV wall has been closed up. Let's see if they're going to be trying another rush from there.
Gym hold with 3 C4s in pocket, and it always gives me the idea of these hatch plays. You can see obviously the one open in gym. I'm curious if the one is open in construction too, and if they're going to try and get a little bit aggro. Yes, it is. They want to play this beneath with the intel that's otherwise been utilized kind of okay. I think it's fair to say we saw the Valkyrie cam get picked off, but when they have the gun skill and what it's kind of fed to them as it was before, well, things seem to go in their favor. But BDS, they are a very clever team. And they're more than happy to let some things lie if it means that they can then respond with the aggression of Renshiro the previous round, or, well, 3 C4s from below.
And I'm just standing by on his cam, not too worried.
Bomb located by
As of course the ability to take down any drones that come rolling in, or take down the X-Kairos, will they be placed in as well. Luckily for him, there's still a mute jammer on the other hand, and that means that they have to follow it up with another ADS if they actually want to open up, and that's exactly what's going to be happening there. They're going to be taking down the Evil Eye as well with that strategically placed EMP, and if they manage to get the mute jammer as well, they should be able to open up. But it doesn't seem like they are. And there we have it. It will open up now. Lems is on his cam. He's not going to be able to do anything. And thus his feet will be shot out. Surely, if someone checks it. But that is the question. Does someone check it? No. He rotates back to safety. That could have been a free kill.
Well, either way, these little missed moments are something that might come back to haunt either team. Let's see how it starts to build as we find ourselves, I guess for the sake of Tempra, hopefully building into what is a more steady standard round. They have some control and some drone ideas, but P4 is concerned about the window, obviously, with Shaiko only a shoulder away, and BDS going for a big rotation here underneath construction. This could be the first catch. They have isolated Shaiko even more now. Rafal goes off first. Shinka catches most of a C4, but is able to kind of limp away and keep themselves in the diffuser carrier and keep themselves alive. The second pop goes off, the second explosion on the door, and Jim is steadily theirs, but Lems with a big gun and a big hold locks off the instant.
We'll be holding on to the bathroom now as someone could be crawling underneath that little hole that has been created. Might have been expanded a bit as a double concussion comes in, followed up by a grenade, but Lem's able to survive as P4 will go down. Shaiko able to pick up a double kill there. He's not going to be able to land the third one. Yes, he does. Shaiko with a quad. As all four were in the kill feed there, it's BDS that pick up yet another round. And just look at the man gunning them all down one by one, by one, by one. And this is why you peak with two at the same time. Because this is not a way to challenge Shaiko. That is just freebies for him. And BDS currently finding themselves 0-3 up without too much hassle, really, as they're going back to CCTV cash. But what a play from Shaiko there.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of looked and in a way, they had eyes on him. They had attention on him. It's Shaiko. You have to have eyes on him and attention on him because he's able to pull off these maneuvers. But after they had been able to drop that man in the middle of Rafal, it could have been an idea to focus potentially a little bit on pinching out Shaiko. They saw him swing on a window, they kind of let it go, and unfortunately, sometimes if you do let it go, you end up in that sort of situation where they're able to swing back onto the door and get the 4K. You're pressured against time in these kind of situations, and you're pressured against being funneled in against a gun with that level of caliber and skill behind it.
Talk about skill, the man picking up the 4K there. Basically shutting down the sides on his lonesome. Was his first four kills of the match as well for Shaiko. But hey, I mean, if that is how you win the round, then there's no shame in that. You're currently 0-3 up, nothing to worry about.
I mean, BDS, you know, it's hard to kind of surmise the skill and the caliber of this team right now in scope of this game so far, just because A, what we've seen has been very quick, chaotic, but B, we haven't really seen too much of them because we haven't had to, because what they do is so subtly great that they have these angles, they have these covers, and Tempra are doing a lot. They're trying to move, they're trying fresh straps and fresh positions, they're trying rushes, and they're trying these big rotations, but BDS, very little movements, very little minor adaptations from a door to a door, and it's locked off again. Their positioning, their cover, their setup for trades and balance, everything is well accounted and well put together.
And we're finally going to be seeing that shield coming into play that I highlighted before. With the two ADSs there, really want to see what it's going to be able to bring and how Tempra is going to be dealing with it. Considering there is two ADSs there, that is 4 pieces of utility that will be eaten up. And then you need to follow it up with a grenade or a impact. I was going to say, they're going to go for an impact trick outside. It's a really smart move, as Lem's also managed to pick up the kill onto Shinka. That is your termite gone, and that now also means that the garage will stay close for now. Keox is only having 3 X-Karas left, has to choose now. Am I going to use this to try and open up onto construction, or are we going to be focusing onto that garage that we, well, basically desperately need? As here we go, new set of Excaros being deployed, the new set of Impact is also ready to try and be used. And surely they will have to take care of Renshiro first, because otherwise you're not going to be able to open that wall up, and the grenade comes in, will not be able to get the kill, not even a single point of damage, and that C4 does way more.
BDS, with the confidence of a team that's kind of earned it, is able to keep the pressure here inside Garage. More Excaros are burnt, and that is a big letter C, but it may as well be an L because you're not getting through. Well, actually, the bottom is painted with blood, to be fair. So, hey, it is an upside down L. I'll take it, and I'll take my missability at reading letters. Voy, with the underhand, caught most of a C4 again, but yet again, it didn't quite do the business. Without Thermite and without any more hard destruction, they've just got to try and funnel and push. Usually you'll see teams adapt to the construction side so far to try and offer a little bit of delicacy towards the back of this instead of pushing and funneling through Garage, but you've only got 30 seconds, so you've kind of got to try and make whatever you want to work fast, and fast hard. Now then, drone steadily through, but is that L a premonition of the round, as Renshiro is still causing problems beneath?
Really would like to see this round come out into slow-mo once more, because there's just something everywhere in the likes of BDS as his execute now needs to come down. Lems picks up one, goes for a bit of a run out, but will be aided by Renshiro, who picks up that kill. Actually, it was a Lems, and it's a flawless round of BDS to close this one out. And you're just looking at it. Yes, you managed to open up on Plateau quickly. Then you weren't able to take Garage, considering the fact that your first Exothermic got tricked. Then the Excaros majority get tricked by an Impact, and not even a single point of attention was being given towards the construction side, where two ADSs and a shield were located, together with like 3 reinforcements and a mute jammer. And now you're thinking, like, what else could have Tempra have done there? Because everything was being closed off. You only had 1 point that you could go for. That was maybe the highway window. At the back of CCTV, the CCTV wall, that was the 2 points you would be able to strike from, nothing else.
I briefly mentioned it before, but BDS, they are beyond confident. Right now, in this game and how they've been playing and setting themselves up before, everything just seems like another day at the office for them. And okay, yeah, it is technically another day at the office, but being this good, this exceptional, this is putting down the biggest sale in your office and just walking away like it's any other Tuesday. This is one of those performances from a team that is just growing in strength to strength. And, well, unfortunately today, Tempra are the ones that are kind of sweating and pulling at their collar and nervous because their sale just isn't quite setting up the mark.
10 seconds to go.
No, BDS definitely making sure that Tempra is not setting off into the lens of safe relegation space, as they will stay put at that 9th place if they don't manage to pick up points here today. BDS is having none of it. They are confirmed to be in EUL 2021, but they're not holding back. They want to win everything. They have a winner's mentality. They do not take a lose lightly. They want to be the best, and they're here to show it.
Tempra slow and steady across the top, if I say for now. They've actually been pretty adept at getting the pace in. There were a lot of other teams that might have been a little bit skittish, a little bit scared, and sure, we saw a big mid-round adaptation and a big rotation from a Zephyr that had already dropped onto the site to try and go for a slightly different take that obviously didn't work, but it's consistent movement, consistent pace, and I quite like that Tempra are bringing this aggro to a team that otherwise could make a lot of others fall back into their shell and fall back into themselves a little bit. BDS are doing well against it so far and seem generally unfazed, but it's good to see Tempra kind of matching that step for step, and I guess a lot of that comes from the history. They play against each other in the National League, they play against each other in this league, they've got a huge, deep French scene behind and beneath them. This is just, for them, another day in another clubhouse.
I remember when BDS came through Challenger League absolutely stomping everybody. In the season after, we had Tempra that showed up, won the entire thing, and back then I was like, are they the new BDS? Are they the new super team that will be coming in from France and will be potentially dominating later on? So far, they're getting dominated by their, well, counterparts who managed to enter the pro circuit a season earlier than they did. That also might mean that they need some time to warm up. They need some time to get themselves together. And a Shaika will be able to pick up that first kill onto Kioxis. That is going to be a hard breach gone. Of course, already the job done as the hatches has been opened up. But still, the entry in favor of BDS, and that is not something you want in this current scoreline.
Well, the pressure's popping towards the door, and P4 is going to try and lead in on the side they tried last time. Shaiko, not untested here in blue, but, well, still standing and still waiting for the drop to happen. He's aware that they have guns nearby, but with the time still ticking, if anything, he's getting a little bit angsty and he wants to start putting the bullets in. I was going to say he doesn't have to, but, well, it's Shaiko. He kind of just wants to. The pressure's still coming from the opposite side of Moto as well. They can see that they have only 30 seconds, and they can see that they've got to try and dig in onto this corner where everything started to go wrong previously. But with the canister popping on the entrance, well, it gives Shaiko the ability to move around behind the shield. Get aggro, get heads, and get that diffuser cold on the floor. Put them in a 3 versus 5. 14 seconds on the board, and they've got to try and pick it back up as P4 does and try and find a way through. Potentially try and apply the pressure onto Armory instead, with Playday getting Voy, who tries to game around the back of Shaiko and getting one more down the corridor for measure. Does sit back, wait, and try and recoup.
I hope we really have that BDS kill in the replay, the Shaika kill in the replay there, considering the fact he just ran past trying to rotate back and he was getting shot at from Moto, and he's like, who dares challenge me? Walks through the rotation, just white swings him and kills him as he takes a few bullets through the head. You don't upset Shaika. If you're going to take a gunfight with him, you make sure to kill him, because otherwise he's going to be actively hunting you. And that is a very scary sight. Something you really do not want to have happen, because you just saw how effective he can be.
Gym bedroom. 5-0.
Gym bedroom.
Last time it was a Shaiko 4K. Just laying it all up there. Laying it out there. Like a teacher that's kind of looking at a whiteboard and thinking, alright, Tempra, what can we do now? Because what you've got to look at from them is it's not too strategically bad. They're doing defaults. They're pushing good angles and pushing good ideas. It's just they're pushing against the statistical best team, and from a performance point of view today, I would say the best team as well. It's just you're against BDS. So unfortunately, the default, the hit doesn't quite continue. And, well, the lesson's going to be tough learnt here. However, last time it did boil down to a 4K. Again, as I started this with, it was a 4K from Shaiko, a hard man to shut down either way, but no team relies on 4Ks. And that gives, I think for me at least, a little bit of a glimmer of hope here for Tempra to take something on their attacks. It's a sparkle in the distance of a very far away sky, but it's still there.
The sparkle is still there. There is still hope for Tempra here to take a win. It will be a very hard battle if they want to be pulling that one in, but it doesn't seem to be looking well for them, considering the fact they're 0-5 behind. They haven't really been able to do too much yet to the defenses of BDS, not even getting close to getting a plan down. And every single time they're getting shut down, doesn't matter who it is, whether Alems or Shaiko, that just makes a crazy 4K. In that moment of time, I didn't even realize it until I saw the actual kill feed that quick. And right now, as you hear the jacuzzi being opened up, it's Renshiro to be active and aggressive underneath the logistics office, but he's going to get some information now. Not deciding to toss up a C4. We have it. C4 is being ripped. Is it going to get tossed out? No. Just a little bit of a bait. Trying to play the mind game here as B4 wants to drop. He wants to get the info. Just needs to find a way through.
Well, a lot of nervous movement on the jacuzzi there, which is a shame because jacuzzis are put there for you to relax, and unfortunately you kind of can't when you're trying to apply pressure to BDS. They still have their eyes down, and Alems is going to try and blow those X-Kairos off the wall, but only takes half. So there's going to be some angles, and there's going to be a little bit of a rotation here. However, the gun that he has and the skill, well, it doesn't mean he's really out of this by any means. Dug in and was able to get the opener last time around against this door, at least in the favor of BDS after Rafale fell against them. But he's still active, still moving, and here, as I said before, BDS, they're always good at responding to where they need to go and keeping themselves covered from angles. It's Tempra that have to try and step up and step in against them.
We have the drones coming in. 1 minute. And the last chance for Tempra here to get an attack win today. As, of course, no overtime. before dropping over onto what the compass call out is, the central subroof, which is a interesting one, as Keoxys hopes to be moving in soon as well. Rafal, however, gets the first one as B4 gets taken out. Shinka responds. Keoxys is still on the hunt. He's following Shaiko. Is he going to be able to take him down this time? Because you definitely need to take the man down. Because if you don't, he will be coming back for you, and he will be coming for the rest of your team straight after. It turns into a bit of a Mexican stand of both players knowing someone is on the other side of the wall, but just not committing to it, because Shaiko knows as well time is being wasted. That is in my favor. But look at these two players, the Tempra right here in the bathroom. They might be able to push for a plant here, as Playday, however, is still from below. He's going to have the opportunity to toss up the C4 from below. There we have the C4 comes in. There goes not Shinka as he manages to survive. They need to get him down. Now the shotgun is not going to be able to find him yet. Tries to shoot the butts off, but he's not going to be able to hit it. And there we go. Playday finally gets it at one of the last couple of seconds. And BDS will be able to take that flawless half here, as it is going to be 6-0, meaning one more round on the attack. And they can close this off with a clean sweep of a 7-0.
That replay of shrapnel exploding closer and closer to the backpack of the man planting, like a shark circling and thirsty for the blood that has already heftily been spilled from a C4. We've seen a lot of C4 grazes this time. Well, again, if that's anything, it's creeping on the chances of Tempra. I said it would be their closest. They said it was the Sparkle, and it was. The second time in a row, they seem to learn a lesson and were close to getting it put down. They're not doing too much wrong. I would say it's just these little moments where BDS are fresher on the map, fresher on the movements, fresher on the control, and unfortunately just, if anything, a step ahead of all the other teams right now.
I think the EUL took a lesson from Group B in Challenger League, as that was a speed run, but this one definitely seems to be going quicker. As BDS, of course, got a little bit of help from that first round of Tempra, where they basically all blew themselves up already before even entering the site. Are looking to close this out with a 7-0, but they are going over to the attack right now. Siege is a defense side again. Tempra might be able to get 1, 2, maybe even more rounds in, and if they're lucky and if they're going to be able to turn the momentum around, we might get a draw. You never know. There's two sides to a game of Siege. It could just as well be that BDS just guns them all down now and closes it out with a 7-0. Either of these could happen. We have to wait for 2 minutes to see which it is.
Well, 6-0 BDS. You're in a great position here to lock this up quickly and get yourselves to bed. And if anything, the pace you want to apply seems to double up with that reasoning. They're getting themselves quickly and sharply in control, and I think opting to try and start on the basement here gives a bit of time into the favor of Tempra. Something that I've said they've been quite quick to try and manipulate, but against the pace and pressure that BDS had on their defense and the control they had of the map space, that's going to be something that works, I would say, more in their favor. The more time that you can stem them just with the brickwork of the map, the more likely you are to be able to stem them when push comes to shove. Now, though, they have their roam clear, they have themselves control, and they have themselves trying to do a lesson on attack. How to take this basement, because so far, well, they've been schooling you on their defense.
I have been schooling you indeed. Tempra needs to show how it's actually done now. Should have learned from what BDS brought, and that they're going to be able to up that, or at least equal it, to get that draw out. They need the points. They need it desperately. There is no room for error now. Chaos is closing in. Of course, they still have like tough matchups coming up on the likes of Chaos, but you don't want them to creep up on you, and you don't definitely want to be in the auto relegation spot at the end of this season. And thus, every single point will be helping you to get away from that. Look at that C4. Foy is ready to toss it in. Shaiko would be on the receiving end. The question is, will he know? It's a long trajectory that it will have to go through. He might be able to see it coming, might be able to snipe it out. And there it comes. The C4 comes in, and he doesn't know. Voy picks up Shaiko. He wasn't ready for it. 1 minute left, and Tempra have the 1 minute advantage.
Yeah, and that's always your hard destruction off the board. Always a bit of a problem on this map. More so, back when there was usually 2 of 3 banned, now it's 2 of 4. You at least still have some culpability and capability with your Thermite, depending on what is still in his pocket. Fair enough. If they want to try and apply pressure onto the back of Church, they might still be able to, and it seems like that's what they want to do. You can see the 3 bodies on the horizon ready to drop onto Moto Hatch, Diffuser in pocket, and potentially frag grenades too. There they go. 1 follows, quickly followed by the second, and the third is actually rotating off, potentially going to try and apply some pressure onto Blue instead. But they're onto Church, and they're trying to creep a little bit closer. They know that there might be a watch here on Pipes. They want to make sure they don't just get swung on, but instead it's going to be across the Blue side as they lose a body inside there instead. They don't have enough time to blow this wall and get in, so Renshiro's just going to knock on the door, and the door is made of his own bullet. Swings onto 2 more. There's a triple kill for Renshiro, and there's the plant, has the cover, doesn't see the close man, and oh no! For the heroics Renshiro was able to play on this site earlier, couldn't quite hit the same mark on the attack.
Was that a quad kill that he just got right there? I don't know, like, the overlay stopped counting after 3, but that was because he got a double sprayed. I'm not sure if he would pick up the 4K in that case, because I think it was, as it just moved in. Yes, it was a quad kill actually. Unfortunately, not going to be able to top it off with the ace to close out the round and close out the match with a flawless 7-0 clean sweep. And that means Tempra now fighting back for 1-6. Is the comeback on? Is the reverse sweep on? Are they able to get this draw out? This one got too close for comfort after Renshiro just managed to, well, push himself through the site, create the opening they needed. Is Tempra going to be able to prevent that from happening in upcoming rounds?
Thinking over the history of Siege, the long and kind of waylaid story that a lot of players have set, some of the greats and some of the not so greats, Renshiro, for me, is one of those historic defining players. He kind of created the idea of what Blackbeard could be when he was heavy in the meta. If you weren't here for those games, oh, trust me, it was terrifying. Then, for me, he started to not step away entirely, but he picked up different roles in a team. He was always a bit quiet, and I guess when you've got guns like Shaiko on your team, it makes sense. You have guns like Shaiko on your team. This recent season, this recent major, this recent Renshiro, for me personally, maybe one of the most exciting, electric redevelopments of a player I think I've ever seen. Stepping up and stepping into this role that he's fulfilling right now, every single game, every single match, he is so unstoppable, so good, so in control of the flow of the game and what he's doing. And I could not personally tell you another player who I think has stepped into this situation as powerfully as he has.
You could only argue that Playday at the start of stage 1 would be a good contester. And about a 2 rating, I believe, for the majority part of the season. I believe it was 1.6. Right now, managing to, you know, slow down a little bit. Doesn't have to clutch every single time as Renshiro now shows up as well. But if it isn't Renshiro, it is Shaiko. And if it isn't Shaiko, then it's the Lems. And if Lems doesn't show up, then Rafal is still there. These are just 5 individual skill players as Durza checks the wrong side. The trade, however, will be there. P4 was able to support, but will lose his life now as well. Shaiko just standing by. And that is going to be the 1-man advantage right now coming into BDS. In a very crucial round here for Tempra. I say a very crucial one, but there's going to be 4 more after this one if they manage to survive 4 more crucial rounds to get that point in. Because right now they have that 1-man advantage. Ooh, you better be ready.
Knocking on the door with flash grenades too, and the wall starts to fall right next to you. What are you going to do? Well, you're probably going to try and get out of there. Get yourself dug into a corner and see if you can watch the close window. Goodbye, Renshiro, all the compliments I played you. Well, they still stand, but, well, anyone takes that gun to the face and you're going to drop. Now it's a 3 versus 3, but they have the wall open. They have 50 seconds. The diffuser's currently laid just to rest a little bit further behind so they can try and push and apply pressure without giving the intense game away of where they want to do it on. Shaiko has decided that he wants to do it in the middle of the site, though. Charges right through, but gets caught on the rotation Void with the big cover with the big gun is able to stop it from the rafters. That's a big angle, and that's why you usually clear that a little bit earlier on in the game. Heoxys is back up. It is now yet again a 3 versus 2, but it's a 2 versus 2 as Playday steps in and steps further. Finds one more on the top of red, and they're going to try and stick the diffuser. They don't know where the last one is, but the canister's going to give a bit of a game away as they pop it over the top. They can reevaluate. They don't need to, but it becomes a 1 versus 1. A fantastic spray. But look at the health, and look at the danger, and look at the pings. You know exactly where they are. They're playing on the top of red. You can wait for the rotation all you like, but with 30 seconds on the board, the time is not on your side. They're playing the game, trying to go for the swing. The arm gives it away. And BDS take yet another victim.
This is the danger of crouch swinging, because your arm is going to be coming out first. And that is going to be, of course your arm is always going to be coming out first, but you're just a bit slower, not going to be able to get that framing quite yet. And there you have it, BDS are your winners of tonight. Some exceptional plays coming out from BDS. Some nice bloopers as well from the likes of Tempra, especially that first round, as I still remember it as it burned into my brain. But man, BDS, they made some quick work of this tonight. Definitely took some of the inspiration of Group B of Challenger League.
You know what I said though, and I said it earlier in the game, is Tempra, they still have stuff that they can take away from today. Not the first round, we'll ignore that. But the rest of the game, they were being adaptive, they were being aggressive, and against other beings, against other teams, yeah, they probably would have taken some rounds, maybe put themselves a lot further into the game. The problem is BDS are kind of immortal right now. You have to try and find their Achilles heel, and for now, they're happily striding and strutting.
They're definitely going to be able to, well, at least it looks like going to be able to keep this up for a long time. But let's just toss it over to the analysts to talk about this, well, almost clean sweep.
Thank you. So